Hello, I'm Jody Wolf. You're watching Expose on November 3, 2014, 12:16 a.m. Now, this is part two of Our Future is Going to Change. And what I want to start out is lead into something, but piezoelectric. Remember that word, piezoelectric. There's a rock or part of a rock that's got properties. It's got metal in it and magnetic field or magnetics in it or magnet. But in any case, piezoelectric, if you go back and if you have an ability or a chance, or if you haven't and can, see Watcher 7 with L.A. Marzulli. And he explains just a minute or two of the piezoelectric and what he thinks it does. Well, I wish he had spent a lot more time on that, because that piezoelectric may do far more than what LA is thinking, because his job there is to uncover the fallen angels' offspring, the Nephilim. They built these great pyramids, these great cities way back in the day, and they used 100-ton, 200-ton, maybe even 1,000-ton rocks, perfectly chiseled and shaped and placed, and it just, things that we can't do today with the best equipment that we have. We can't do one of those rocks, such as the ones in the pyramid. Well, all the pyramids weren't the same. They were different sizes and shapes in different parts of the world. But here we are in Peru, and L.A. Marzulli, looking for the Nephilim skulls, runs across one of these piezo rocks. And the properties it had, he said, wow, when you stick your head in it, you can, and you just hum or you make a noise. And he said, the sound that's coming out of it is not the sound that you're making. Remember that point. And he didn't go any further or elaborate any more on that. I wish he had, but I'm going to do that now. But I'm going to start with and tell you, remember in the blog I did just before this one, I talked about God told Enoch to write a book for every day of his life of the full details of the fallen angels and all that they had done. All right, I'll pick up from that point. God created everything with his voice. And of course we know that because God said, and it was. That's good enough for me. But what was the voice? Was it a tone? Was it a vibration? Okay. By these books, the 363 that are lost, the books of Enoch, by these books, all this information is in these books. All this information, plus more information that even scientists couldn't explain it to you in 100 years. But remember the gentleman that had the coral castle in some part of Florida, maybe in Coral Gables, I don't know, but he moved these 5, 10-ton, 20-ton blocks and rocks of coral, and he even shaped them and then put them into place. He was a 110 or 15-pound man and did it by himself, and he didn't have nothing more than a block and tackle. He had nothing that could hold that kind of weight. But he did it under the cover of darkness, and he worked on it every night. Well, when the man died, we got to see what all that he had done, but the government got the know-how because they went in and took all that he had, all his notes, all the information that he had written down. And I would chance to say that he had not some sort of knowledge of one of the books that Enoch had written. All right, let's go on. Remember, back in 2012, and 2 years straight, same day, when all the birds dropped out of the sky on New Year's Eve. Remember when all the whales beached themselves. Remember when hundreds of millions of fish died. Remember when 8,000 white-tailed deer died on I can't remember the river in Montana, but overnight, one night. And in another part of the country, in Vietnam, a man had 200 head of buffalo drop dead one night. All these crazy things, all these animals dying. Look, if HAARP, HAARP, was involved, they're using piezoelectric some way. They're reattaching all the pyramids together, and they're doing it in a way, and they're trying to define it and trying to fine-tune it. This frequency goes out, and one may be the death of a particular turtle, and a lot of turtle around Australia come washing up on the shore, and certain red-winged blackbirds. Why not the sparrows? Why not the starlings? Just the red-winged blackbirds. So there were certain things that died, and I would say that it happened when a certain frequency went out. And how else can a frequency like that get out except it be of our government? And so HAARP may be the cause of all these animal and bird dives, but it's also in the Bible. It said in those days, a third of what's in the oceans will die. In those days, these things are going to happen. In those days, these things are going to happen. I'm not going to have time to finish this one. I apologize. But I'm going to stop it right now, and then I'm going to move on and pick up right here where I left off. Jody Wolf Exposed.